destination mark.
Hey guys, how's it going? Marcelo here, and we're not done talking about Crash and Sane Trilogy yet. So this is a part 2 to my previous video on the game. So link down below to that. Also link down below to my reaction, G-Man's reaction, everyone's reactions, the same stuff that's been going on and circulating around with our videos for the past few days. So yeah, we're not done yet. There's a few things I left out, and there's a few things that I've seen and experienced since last talking about this game and what we've seen at PSX. So let's get started. First off, as you now have seen, if you've seen my previous videos on the channel, I saw the intro. The cinematic opening intro is fucking gorgeous. It is that nice squash and stretch, very kind of frantic-ish movement that I was hoping for. It looks really good. It's super detailed. It's almost, the dialogue is note for note, is word for word, straight from the original game. Even the sweeping shots, the way you see Cortex's castle with this much detail. Huh. And every sweeping shot is like, it's basically, if you've seen the comparison videos, if you saw my original intro and then remastered intro, one after the other in the same video, you know how close it looks. And of course there are some key differences which we'll be talking about and what I think about them. So one of the first key differences are the voices. I was going to start with something else, but let's go with this first. The voices, get that out of the way. Jess Harnell's back as Crash, Lex Lang is back once again as Cortex, and Maurice LaMarche is back as Brio. Now, Cortex and, well, actually all of them, Crash, Cortex, and Brio's portrayals are different than what we've seen from these actors do for these characters. Now, with, you know, Crash to Insanity, Crash Tag Team Racing, Titans Men Over Mutant, and even Imaginators, they're all different takes, you know, they all had a different spin on these characters. So that was just because those companies were making those games and they were more or less, you know, original games that were for Crash, and so these actors were just doing what they needed to do, how they felt that these characters should be handled. With this game, these games, there's a direct portrayal from previous voice actors and actresses that they need to really like study and kind of not so much as nail down that they have to be just like those with the delivery and all that and the tone, but they kind of have to like match that in a way. Like, you know, they kind of have to, you know, pay homage to that. Because, you know, this version of Cortex is in fact, you know, the original version of Cortex is in fact different from Lex Lang's original take on Cortex. Same thing with Brio. Brendan O'Brien's original take on Brio is a lot different than when Maurice LaMarche first voiced the character in Mind Over Mutant. So, they have to accommodate for the fact that these portrayals are not, you know, them just going off of, you know, or, you know, not so much as, well, they're going off of something. They're not just pulling it out of like, okay, so I'm gonna portray them like this. It's more of, I have a, you know, template to go off of, in a way. So, with that being said, Cortex is a lot more, sinister. This is something I really wanted. Now, if you guys have, you know, if you guys have heard the news, or not so much as, is it news? I like to think it's news. And it's kind of old news, you know, old news at this point, but, we had actually kind of talked to Lex Lang a little bit before all of this, before, you know, E3, before everything, when we were working on the fan film. And we're still working on the fan film. I shouldn't have said we're still working. We're still working on it. But one of the things that I was thinking of when we were talking about, you know, throwing around voice actors and voice actresses and all that, we were wanting to contact Debbie Derryberry, Lex Lang. Go so far out as to try and find out where and what's going on with Mel Winkler and Brendan O'Brien. Just to get that old throwback retro feel, like, to actually get those voice actors instead of, you know, having some of those voice actors, you know, voice match or just trying to, you know, do a, you know, pay homage delivery-wise to the original voice actors. Why not try and find the original voice actors? But with Lex Lang specifically, just thinking about how I wanted, you know, Cortex's portrayal in our fan film, they kind of nailed it right here in Insane Trilogy. For the first game, I was like, okay, it's Lex Lang. He's still Lex Lang's Cortex. He's not trying to, you know, actually change his voice. Because I thought that Alex Fernandez was Uka Uka and was back as Uka Uka, hasn't voiced him since Twinsanity in Skylanders. But everyone's telling me it's Lex Lang. And Lex Lang, if this is true, if that's really him, he was trying to go out of his way to sound like Clancy Brown. You can really hear the Clancy Brown influence. That's not the case with Cortex. It's still Lex Lang's Cortex, but with the feel and kind of demeanor of Clancy Brown's Cortex, or in this case, Brendan O'Brien's Cortex. So that's really cool. It just the fact that he's still going to be wacky, he still kind of is a little over the top, but he's going to be more sinister, more actually, devious and all that. So that's awesome. That's something we wanted to portray, and we might still portray, of course, in our fan film, but we're seeing it now in an actual game for the remastered first game. That's cool. Likewise, Brio is now back to stuttering and being all manic and, funny. So Maurice LaMarche nailed that. It was really funny because G-Man and I and Velizio, we all found, link down below, Nukem Dukem. He was live streaming on the day of, the first day of PSX. He was live streaming. Activision let him live stream the demo. Hey, Activision, I know I've talked some smack, but it's all in good, criticism. I'm open to a demo. Demo? So is G-Man and Velizio a demo? All of us are, really. I don't know. Anyway, so we were watching this guy live stream, and he showed. That's how we first saw the opening cuts, and we were like, dude, because I was the one who found the initial link on Twitter. I was like, guys, we're all on Skype. I found someone who was live streaming it, and they started freaking out. So I sent them the link. We all started to watch it, and G-Man goes, go to the beginning, scroll back to the very beginning of the live stream, because he shows the intro. So we watched the intro, and all this leading up to what I'm about to say is that when I was first watching the intro with the guys, and to hear Maurice LaMarche, because it's, Brio starts off the dialogue, I was like, oh my god, it's Maurice LaMarche, and holy crap, his delivery is different, and I like it. It's really good. So I didn't know if they were going to bring back, everyone from the Radical era, and we still haven't seen, Coco or anything like that, so it's still unclear if they're going to try and go out of their way to try and get Vicky Winters as voice legend once, or Debbie Derryberry, since she's been voicing the character for way longer. So, who knows? But Maurice LaMarche as Brio, he did really well, and since they're bringing back a lot of these, Radical era voice actors like Greg Eagles, everyone's been telling me that Greg Eagles re-recorded the Booga, and if that's the case, damn, that doesn't sound like him at all. The Ooga Booga from Skylanders sounds exactly like Greg Eagles, but this new Booga sounds almost exactly like the original recording from Brendan O'Brien. So I love those sound effects in general. Oh, I have a sound effect. Here it is. So I ripped I like it so much I ripped it from the trailer. So the comeback trailer. So there you go. So that's one of the key differences. The voice actors, it's the same ones we've known from past games, but they've changed up their approach to these characters now since they have to portray them in the way they were portrayed in the original games. And this is exactly what I was thinking that they would do, and I'm glad that they did, not to say that they wouldn't screw it up. I didn't want them to screw it up, and I wasn't like, it's like Sane as Cortex, they're gonna get Clancy Brown, it's over, it's not gonna be good. Like, no, I was totally open-minded to it. And I'm glad that, now that we get to hear him as old school era Cortex, it's awesome. That's what I'm trying to get at. Then we have Jess Harnell as Crash. And now, one of my little things was, okay, are they gonna make him, the way he does in Skylanders? Is he gonna grunt and not full-on babble like in Crash the Titans and Mind of a Mutant and Tag Team Racing, but will he kind of pull like a Skylanders and kind of babble every once in a while? It's Jess Harnell, so that's his portrayal of the character. Will he do that in this? Will he kind of have to grunt and, kind of make little noises every time he jumps or spins or whatever? Because Brendan O'Brien only had, whoa, uh-oh, yeehaw, and da-da-da-da. Those were literally the only voices Crash has ever done in the first game. So I was like, are they going to keep it like that, or are they going to give him more smaller, shorter voice clips of grunting and going woohoo or whatever when he's jumping and spinning? No, it's those ones. It's uh-oh, whoa, yeehaw. It's those ones, and it's Jess Harnell, and everyone's been telling me, and yes, it's true. Jess Harnell's take of him going uh-oh sounds like Brendan O'Brien's. It's scary how accurate now that's like direct voice matching. It sounds just like it. So It's really good. So him being Crash in this, it's really good, and you can hear the difference starting with Imaginators when Jess Harnell, provided the voice for Crash yet again. There were some new, they were all new, voice clips. They weren't just ripped from, pretty much all the ones, besides the new ones he did record from Mind Over Mutant. A lot of the grunts and whees and yahoos or whatever, Mario sound effects, were ripped from Crash of the Titans. Well, these ones in Skylanders are all new, and now all of the classic voice clips that Crash did in the original game, those have been now redone with just Harnell doing them. My point is, it's good. I ramble a lot, I'm sorry about that, but it's just so damn good. So that's the one difference. The other difference, which it's two scenes, but I'll share them as one. The one scene where Brio raises Crash up into the vortex, the Cortex Vortex, and there's this extra little scene where we see Cortex's reaction, like, yes, wait, what? Because the machine starts to malfunction, and we see Crash getting all zapped and everything in the machine, and a nice little homage, little kind of, I like it the way they did this. In the original game, when you see the computer and it says reject Bandicoot, or Bandicoot 1.0 rejected, and it just has his mug on it with that silly face, it's just a static image. But in the remaster, you can see what he looks like, how he's reacting, because there's a camera in the vortex, and you can see how he reacts, so you can see his face all spazzing out, and the computer freezes on the image of him going and his tongue's out, and it's that image. Then it says Bandicoot 1.0 rejected. That's awesome. I love that little homage. It's not just a static image. It's a camera in there that malfunctions and stays on that face. That was cool. Just the amount of detail and all that, it's awesome. I want to just throw that in. I've heard people say that Crash's fur is he's a little too furry. It could have been worse. I don't think it's bad at all. Also, to go a little off topic, with this whole fur thing, I also have heard that the demo build that was there at PSX and the footage shown in the trailer and even the footage shown in the B-roll are slightly different. Maybe taken from different development times. I'm not sure. I did kind of notice that. If you look at the way he looks in the cinematics, he looks really good. And how I was saying in my reaction, no, I don't say in my reaction video, did I? I said it definitely in my previous thoughts video, that maybe, just maybe, if they tweaked this design a little bit in-game, because it does look a little funky, at least from the facial area, a little kind of, not as expressive as even they made him in Skylanders, but they have a lot of time left, Also, the reason why they didn't really show off too much, and they didn't want to show off a lot of 2 and 3, the second and third games, is because they're still working on them. That was outright confirmed that they're still hard at work on 2 and 3. Probably didn't have a lot to show, or even if they did, they just didn't want to show it. And so much Crash. Like, there's only so much Crash we can take. We went batshit over the first game, just barely the first game. Imagine how we're gonna freak out when we finally see 2 remastered and Warped remastered. It's gonna be fucking insane, because there's so many more iconic scenes from those games that we want to see now that we know the art style and the art direction. By the way, kudos, huge ass kudos. If anyone from Vicarious Visions, which I highly doubt, if anyone of you guys see this, if anyone sees this, if there's some way that somebody shares this video and there's a chain reaction that gets to them, kudos. Big ass congratulations to the art team and the animators, because it just looks so fucking good. And you nailed down just everything. I don't even know. So much so to the point where even the TNTs blink. The TNTs haven't blinked since fucking the first game. Okay, well, they do kind of blink, I think, in Mind Over Mutant. But, I mean, if you really want to get into it, I mean, the first game, in the classic platforming Crash, whatever the fuck you want to compare it to, it was the first game, that's the one I remember the most. For it, just whatever, the TNT's blink, and it didn't do that from 2 onward. They brought that little detail back. That's awesome. That's all I'm trying to get at. So back to the cinematic. I trail off topic a lot in these videos. So that was the one scene where he's reacting, and you see Cortex reacting. You see Crash going all berserk. So they redid the whole he's chasing him scene. He just kind of gets out. He's like, hey, and then he goes woo, and just leaves. So that was pretty funny. The second one is Tawna's scene, and this actually kind of goes from the cinematic to Tawna's role, because now that they've brought her back, it's like, okay, so we'll get into that part later. But it ends not just on two fucking lab assistants holding her by the arms. Oh no, she actually decks one in the face. That was fucking hilarious. I didn't expect that. I was like, oh my god, she just floored that guy. She knocked him out. So it shows that she's not gonna be a Princess Peach anymore. She wants to escape, but she gets bombarded by like 4 other lab assistants. So it's like, okay, it's a new change, it's accepted, and it's funny. So it's like, all right. And not only that, so now we're done with the cinematic. It's fucking great. It's awesome. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to post the GIF, but I'll post a picture of it. There's one little part, Beta M, I believe it was, on Twitter, pointed this out. Okay, the intro is awesome. Please fix that. Besides that, it flashes for like a frame, I guess, because I didn't notice it. I've watched this fucking intro over and over. Never noticed that, so it probably only lasts for like a frame or two. So anyway, we're done with the intro cinematic. Awesome, amazing. If you haven't seen the comparison that I did, or the comparison that other people are doing, link to 2 of them I can think of, one of them being mine, down below. So yeah, there's no excuse. Watch the freaking intro, it's awesome. So there's that. Tawna now, seeing as she has, they made her do that, deck a freaking lab assistant in the face in the intro. So it looks now like she's not going to just be like, help me, she's going to actually try and, I don't know how much we're going to see of her besides the bonus rounds in the game, but it's cool that they're trying to make her a little bit more, independent. I mean, it still kind of fails because she's still kidnapped, but to see that she is trying to literally fight to get out instead of just standing there like, help me, it's awesome. That's accepted. And with that being said, what else will she just be in this game? I'm not expecting that they're gonna shove her into 2 and 3 or anything like that. I don't know if it's just going to be an homage, like a little, she's not in the games anymore, but she's an Easter egg now, a picture on Crash's house. I don't know how they're gonna do that, if they're gonna just kind of have her in the first game like Naughty Dog did, and then just for the rest of the other games. I don't know if they're gonna take the Japanese storyline, and have her actually dump Crash for Pinstripe. If they're gonna add new little scenes here and there to these cinematics, maybe we'll see Crash just kind of looking around, the house. It kind of glances at the freaking, since there's a time gap, a 1-year time gap between the first game and the second game. So in that time, we can assume that she left him. So it'd be funny if after the 1 year later, little time card happens, and when we see Crash and Coco in the second game cinematic, he's just staring at the picture of course he doesn't say anything, but he kind of whimpers because she's not there looking at the picture. She's not there anymore with him. So I don't know, but let's see. So how will she, function? Not only in this game, in the first game, will she have a little bit of a bigger role, outside of the bonus rounds? Sorry, I'm a little scattered right now, but I'm trying to really get my thoughts together about this. No rehearsal. One thing I like, let's just talk about that real quick. One thing I like about the bonus round, Tawna, is that she doesn't just stand there like, hey, here's your percentage. She, if you don't actually get to her, you can see her just kind of standing around like, oh, when's he gonna come? And that's pretty funny. Just she looks kind of bored out of her mind, so that's really funny. And then when you actually get to her, she'll do a little hey, a little fist pump, and she'll kind of she'll do something. It's funny. It's just, I don't know. Tawna was one of the more, or probably the most underdeveloped character from the Naughty Dog era, and it looks like they're really trying to give her something of a personality now, and that's really cool. And then she goes away. She just, not so much as a teleportation, she just kind of away. I mean, I don't know, not straight up Superman fly, but she just away. It's weird, but okay. But yeah, so that's what we've seen of her so far, and she also has a Crash face on her shirt. Oh, that was funny. But it looks like they're gonna try and make her a little more involved. I don't know if they're gonna add smaller cinematics, maybe between the islands. When you island hop, maybe as you're doing that, they'll add some scenes of maybe her trying to get out, still trying to find her way out of the castle, and they just keep grabbing her, bringing her back to the main room. Maybe, I don't know, because we really are not sure, because we're really not sure because they're adding in new things. This is a remaster plus, so that doesn't just stay only for the gameplay, that means for pretty much everything. And I don't know, I'm wondering how they're going to do that. I'm wondering what the alternate ending will look like with the Great Hall and everything, and how that will play out. Will it be just a simple little like, oh hey, you found me, let's leave? Or will it be a cinematic? Who knows? I really want to see Cortex's boss fight. I want to see the ending. The ending, of course. I want to see the ending. I want to see how they do that. How they do that. So, yeah. So now on to the gameplay. I talked quite a bit. That was like one of the main things I talked about in the last Thoughts video. So, I guess to recap, because I don't know what... That was the new stuff. The intro and Tawna's role. Like, I didn't react to any of that. You know... When I was first reacting to the trailer, because they didn't show any one of them off, they really just showed Crash. Well, they showed a brief scene of him getting zapped in the intro, and there's Cortex looking all like haha, and then Brio's right there, and then they also showed Brio putting Crash into the vortex. Besides that, though, we didn't really see much of Tawna and all that stuff, so that was all pretty much new. I didn't see the full intro cinematic during my filming of the first Thoughts video, so that's the new stuff. If there's anything else new I can throw into, you know, this piece, into the gameplay, I'll try and think of it on the fly as I talk about other stuff, so let's see how that goes. So to recap, from what I thought of the gameplay from the last video, fucking good? I don't know, it's fucking good. They fixed a lot of things, like the save system and autosaves, and I guess you can just, you know, choose to save whenever you want, so that's awesome. They said there's a unified checkpoint system. I'm not really too sure what that means. From all I've seen, you know, they have checkpoint crates throughout the game. I don't fucking know. I don't know. But, so there's that. The music, fucking bitchin'. I still don't know who the hell's composing this. They kind of, there was, so the day 2 discussion, I was watching it, and they didn't say anything that wasn't new. So, you know, they did kind of tease, you know, where's 2 and 3? We're not done with it yet. Like, we don't have a lot to show. So that's what I was saying earlier. They outright confirmed that they're not going to show anything to us either. They didn't do it at PSX, and I'm sure not for a while outside of PSX until they just one day, hey, trailer, and we're like, oh shit, we have to react to that. So, so yeah, outside of PSX, they didn't tell us things we didn't already know. What they did say though was like, oh, so the music, you know, we redid the music. It's the same. It's Josh Mansell's, you know, compositions, but performed differently. So whoever the composer or, you know, whoever else is who's doing this music, I need to know, because it's fucking awesome. The Insanity Beach, all we've heard so far, the Insanity Beach theme, which is awesome. Heavy Machinery, which is really awesome. Cortex's theme in that intro, which, fuck, damn, it's awesome. And even Brio's theme, very briefly, in the B-roll footage, which is pretty damn badass. And I really love the bonus round theme for, you know, how accurate it still really very much is to the original track, but it just sounds so good. I want to play it. I wish I was there. I was actually planning to, not so much that I was planning to go, but I really wanted to plan out how to go to Anaheim. I don't live too terribly far from it, but fuck, I wish I was there. You know that if I were there, you would have seen, bam, gameplay, bam. I'd probably let this, like, Nukem, whatever. I probably would have found the guys from either Activision or Vicarious. There was Vicarious Visions guys there. I don't know if they're Activision guys there. I would have tracked them down, asked them, hey, are just any kind of YouTubers who are looking for like legit coverage, not just to be like, hey guys, I got it early. Like, no, coverage. That we gotta think analytically to be able to analyze just how they've done it, how it feels. I want to know how it feels. Everyone's been saying that who's played the demo and who's tweeted about it or said on camera, it does feel good to play apparently. Everyone has to be playing, you know, Nukem says it's best to play with the D-pad as it was in the original game because it just, to him, it felt weird using the analog stick. So the first game will support analog stick, which is pretty cool. So yeah, Anyway, so what was I saying? Fucking, I would have been there asking them, oh, can we just get coverage like for our channel? Or I don't know how it would have worked out, but that would have been awesome. Anyway, so they also said, okay, so they said it's all done, everything is being redone. So they're not using, they also said that it was kind of almost near impossible to use the assets from the original game to either fucking make it, code, whatever the fuck it is. They just couldn't really use a whole lot of stuff. So they had to, make do with what they had and recreate everything for pretty much from the ground up. Just as Sean Lynn said, so it's true. They really are rebuilding everything back up, making it all look good, gooder, better, faster, stronger. So I'm an idiot. So okay, they said, yeah, they didn't really say who composed the music, but it's awesome. They also kind of didn't deconfirm that, as a lot of people want, possibly down the line, maybe they might do CTR remastered. That was a kind of a shock. It wasn't a direct like, oh, you never know. It was just more of like, how they say it? Because I forget the girl's name, but she was asking them from, I believe she's from PlayStation Access. She was like, okay, so some fans really want after this like maybe something of a CTR remaster. So what about that? And they were like, I don't know. Or he said something like that, I forget. It was very simple, like, So, they kind of danced around it. So it's like, okay, maybe that can come at some point. I don't really know. But let's focus on these three right now or this one right now. So, yeah, animation awesome, music awesome, characters are looking really good. I don't have the biggest beef with these character designs. Koala Kong looks fucking, he looks like Knuckles. He pretty much is Sonic Boom Knuckles. He's massive now. To really put it into proportion, especially in an HD remaster, 4K remaster. 4K, guys? Okay, Vicarious Visions. That's a Bubsy joke. Come on now. That's a fucking Skylanders joke. Like, come on. Okay. I digress. It's whatever. So, 4K, whatever. I don't, fucking remaster, whatever. Okay. Where was I right now? I'm forgetting. Oh shit, it's going. The proportion from Koala Kong to Crash, I remembered. He's fucking massive. It's like, wow, he was really that big? I mean, when you put the original proportions of Koala Kong right there and then Crash, it's like, well, he's big, he's obviously taller and obviously more built than Crash, but he's not too terribly like monstrous, like hulking. No pun intended to Brio, but here he is. It's like, damn, I want to see his boss fight now. He looks massive. So yeah, there's that. What else can I say? The gameplay itself with the relics, we've got gold, platinum, and sapphire, gold, and platinum. Excuse me. So you already know fucking slippery climb relic. God damn, slippery climb relic. Guys, do you realize how hard it was to beat that fucking level as a kid? And I still get the fucking goosebumps every time I try that level and try to go for the gem or just to beat it in general. That's one of the few levels to this day that I'm still like, I know this game almost pretty much front to back. The only thing I've never really memorized was which fucking level has the specifically colored gem in it. It's one of the only things I've not memorized, and I know to a T, but I know the levels, I know the layouts, I know how long they roughly take to beat. Slippery Climb will always be one of those ones where it's like, fuck, like butt-clenchingly like epic and like, tedious. It's like, oh shit, don't die. So, it's tricky platforming and it's awesome. Now they're adding fucking speedrunning to that shit. Oh, okay. I don't even know how it's gonna turn out. And a lot of those boxes in that level are in those little windowsill like little crevice cave-like parts. So it's like, okay, if you want to be, you have to master that level in order to. This game with the relics will force you to master this level. So that's gonna be crazy. One thing I remember Voice Legend and G-Man and I were talking about very, very briefly was, will the relics, since they're going to be coming to Crash 1 and 2, and obviously the originating Crash 3, will they impact the plot in any kind of way? Now, there was a bunch out of the plot regarding the gems in Crash 1, but in Crash 2, Brio wants those gems, and Cortex, the main plot of the game, is to collect the crystals. So that was all they had in Crash 2 in the original. So now in the remaster, we're adding relics. Will the relics impact anything? I don't think so. I think that's there purely for extra stuff, speedrun it, whatever. I don't know how they're gonna really do that though. It's because to get the 100 spoilers, I don't fucking know. To get the 100% ending in Crash 2, you have to collect everything. So you have to, obviously, you have to collect the crystals and the gems. And it only shows the gems when you get that ending of you're helping Brio out and you see all the gems lined up. So how are they going to redo that ending? Is it going to stay like that? Or now that we've got relics, do they factor into the plot directly or maybe even indirectly? Or how will they impact the percentage? What I'm thinking is, I just thought of this right now, maybe like they'll have you collect all the relics and gems and crystals, but maybe they'll just have you, okay, hold on. I just thought of something. I see in my head, I countered it with something else. I was going to say, maybe you'll just get the relics, and it's still for 100%, but you have to get the relics. Like, maybe you will not get the 100% ending if you get all the relics, but don't get all the gems, and you obviously have all the crystals. And something in there freaking, it's like, well, duh, it's not 100%, and it's not 100% ending if you don't get everything. So, I don't know. I think that they'll keep it just gems in that ending, since that's all he asks for, really, you know? So hopefully I'm thinking they'll keep it like that. How long is this video? Okay, we're theorizing now. We have to say that for some other time. So, okay. The gameplay is awesome. The intro is awesome. If there's anything else that I'm forgetting to add right now, let me know in the comments, because I'm not going to remember it right now, you know, as you're watching this. So let's see, is there anything else to talk about? If not, I'm ending the video. So let's see. We went over, you know, the checkpoints, the aesthetics are still the same as, the structure is still the same. They gave it what I call the Ratchet and Clank, treatment, where it's structures and designs and layouts and all of that from the original game, but redone in glorious HD to look fucking beautiful as shit. That's what they did here with Crash 1 for this insane trilogy, and I love I'm thinking right now, as they're just showing, and they've only really focused on 2 levels. If you look at the freaking comeback trailer, they show off Upstream / Up the Creek, Papu Papu's boss fight, Cortex Power, super briefly in that one, Toxic Waste, Hog Wild. They show off either Sunset Vista or Lost City. So they're showing off, like I was theorizing, you know, I said that in the last Thoughts video, glimpses and flashes of other levels. Now in the demo, they're only focusing on 2, because I guess those are the 2 that they've pretty much completed. Then they can just go back and tweak whatever, and that's fine. So we've got Insanity Beach and Heavy Machinery. And Heavy Machinery, of those 2 right now, is my favorite because it just looks so damn good. So, yeah. Besides that, if there's nothing else I can think of, I think we're done. So, what do you guys think? This was me analyzing, you know, kind of the gameplay, and I kind of did that in the last Thoughts video. What more is there to analyze? They nailed down a lot of this stuff. I like Aku Aku's new invincibility theme. It sounds really good. What more is there to talk about? Okay, there's one thing I wanted to mention that I forgot to mention, that I was thinking about before I filmed the video. Crash doesn't look as manic and as panicky as he did in the first game, and he only looked like that in the first game. If we're talking all other games before this remaster, I'm talking way too fast. All other games before this remaster, the first original last game, he looked very, when he ran with like a panicked face, and he would run like that. And he just looked very, you know, kind of like, like he would do that, you know. So, in, you know, this remastered version, he doesn't look so panicky. Some people are talking about that and how they're like, well, they could have made him a little more panicky, since that was just his demeanor back then, you know, in that game. I'm fine personally if they don't. That's just me. If they don't, you know, tweak him a little bit to make him look a little more panicky and all that. Because even if you see in the cinematic, when he leaps out of the vortex and he kind of turns around, he has like this face like, oh, hey, I'm out, and he's smiling. It's like, oh shit, gotta run, and he'll leave. So it's wacky and silly from the get-go, and Crash himself is wacky and silly from the get-go. He's not just, you know, not that of course, not that I'm knocking the fact that he was all panicky in the first original game. I'm just saying, like, I'm whatever to the, you know, I'm indifferent to the fact that he's not as panicky here. It's fine with me. I don't really care. So, besides that, yeah, I'm done. So, what do you guys think of my second thoughts video for this? Finally going to talk about the intro, and I just trailed off from there and went everywhere as I usually do. I apologize if you're new to me and my channel. I do that from time to time, quite often actually. Whatever, I'm doing it again. I'll see you guys later. I'm Marcelo. Take care.